which is stating the purpose of body-worn cameras, or the BWCs. So it's becoming more and more popular that particularly law enforcement are wearing body-worn cameras, okay? And you know, they're great bits of kit, unless of course you don't want your behavior recorded. And if you didn't want your behavior recorded, then why is that, hey? So let's have a look at the pros of using the body-worn cams. They deter crime, they curb behavior, and that's for the door supervisor and the customer. They identify and secure evidence against offenders, and of course the self-protection against potential malicious allegations from service users. So the camera itself can't be covert, it's got to be overt, it's got to be clearly obvious that it's being recorded. So, you know, you're going to have a sign, you have to put on there, you know, you're being recorded. There's usually a big flashing light as well, which will say, and the system should also say that it's picking up audio as well, because, you know, often, you know, the audio can be more intrusive than the actual video. When it comes to recording them, you actually say to them, well, I'm now pressing this record button, which is for my safety and your safety, and anything we say or do is being recorded and maybe handed over to the police as evidence is required. Are there any cons? If you think about it, you know, when you're using a body-worn camera, it's in connection with a crime being committed. And if a crime's being committed, there's lots of personal data which is likely to be kind of particularly private, you know, and should be kind of treated with particular care, shouldn't it? So if the video and audio would capture victims, potential witnesses, suspects, or other third parties that are in a state of duress. So it's very important that the materials aren't viewed by just anybody, and your employer must have policies and procedures in place in relation to the storage of that. So can you as a door supervisor view that material? No, you can't, unless you've got a CCTV public space surveillance license. I know it seems a bit silly because you've actually watched it, right? It's going on there, and all you're doing is watching it back. Yes, but under regulations you can't. Why? Well, because of it's data protection, isn't it? And if you think of the information that's being collected, it is private. So if you are provided with a camera, it's important that that camera doesn't have a playback screen, and or if it does, it's password protected. Because to be able to view that material and to use the material, you must have a CCTV license. There are certain situations where a door supervisor or a security guard doesn't need a CCTV license to view footage, but it's very specific that you will need a specific CCTV license when it's to do with filming disorder, a likelihood of disorder, or violent behavior, or likelihood of violent behavior. And of course, that's specifically what body-worn cameras are for. Okay, so you must not use the content, your employer must register with the ICO, and they must have an appropriate robust system in place to ensure that information is kept secure.